So I think even losing Miracle, they can come back stronger. Chibi makes a great stand-in for them, and I think this best of one here is going to be really close. I mean, these two teams I would put on pretty equal footing after your top teams, which is like your Mineski, your Titan. So First Departure and MitH.Trust, I don't even know who I'd say is the favorite going into this one.
I mean, there's a lot of favorites. Usually, it's kind of common for you to. It's actually like mainstream for people to actually vote for their own country to actually win out. Especially considering that this is the biggest tournament itself going to be in Southeast Asia, and considering winning this tournament will mean that you take your place in as in the best team inside South Asia at the same time. So this is actually the big thing. If MitH.Trust were to actually to prove his worth inside this competition, saying that you know what, MitH.Trust is around to here to stay and show you guys that we're still around and show you that we're still one of the best teams in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, I think coming into this, like the biggest rivalry in Southeast Asia has been that Mineski Titan rivalry. Like in GMPGL, it was Mineski winning the championship. Since then, just a week ago, Titan beat Mineski in a best of 5 3-2. So there's been this big back and forth between Mineski and Titan, and people are kind of expecting them to get to the finals. But teams like MitH.Trust and First Departure are the teams who will surprise people. They're kind of the dark horses coming in who can actually beat Mineski and Titan as well.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, aside from taking sides, we see that. I mean, the highlight in everybody's mind right now mostly on Titan and Mineski itself. But we should not take lightly these other teams as well, because before this they were great teams, and you don't know, these dark horses sometimes they have tricks up their sleeves. It's not just based on a good draft, it's how they play it, how they execute it. That's what's important as well. Mistakes, considering how good you play, and much more.
Especially with the way the format works, you have a lot of best of one matches as well. Best of one is very volatile, depends so much on the draft that the teams want to play in any given game. If you come up with a surprise strat, a fast push, something that's a bit cheesy, you can beat a team that's considered maybe better than you and get further into the bracket because of it being a best of one rather than a best of 3.
Yeah, considering the best of one, it requires you to put all your focus into one game rather than trying to extend it to a second game. Hopefully you'll actually win it. So best of one actually brings out the best in the team, forcing them to actually, telling them that they need to win this match.
All right, well, we're into the draft now. First Departure playing over on the Dire side. MitH.Trust with the first pick. They actually banned out the Storm Spirit, and I was standing behind some of the teams before during their opening round 1 matches in the playing area, and it was a hero that First Departure used. Chibi was playing solo mid Storm Spirit and just breezed over everyone. He snowballed out of control so hard, and MitH.Trust, they must have caught wind of that because they banned out Storm in the first stage, a hero you would never see banned out in the first ban stage.
It's kind of like a rare occasion for Storm Spirits to actually being banned out in the first phase. We usually see it on the second phase itself, where on the 3rd and 4th ban itself, it's kind of rare, but they should have their own reasons why they actually ban it out. I'm from First Departure kind of worried that it might disrupt the kind of gameplay they actually bring out for MitH.Trust. And yeah, I would say looking at the slot Big Bang as well, the second ban, I would say no surprise, especially when we saw it was also coming out on the first ban as well on the previous game, more or less like that. And so First Special also went off with the ban on the Bristle Bag as well as the Alchemist at the same time.
Yeah, apart from the Storm Spirit ban, the other 3 bans fairly common. It did allow the Elder Titan as well as the Clockwork to slip through the pool, and those 2 offlaners get picked up. Clockwork from MitH.Trust, Elder Titan for First Departure, and then they go with the supports. The Rubik, the Shadow Demon. Rubik, very standard, but Shadow Demon's a hero we haven't seen as much of over the last few weeks. Definitely has fallen off as a support hero, but MitH.Trust still have a lot of faith in this hero, and this is kind of like more like a 6.78 type draft with the Shadow Demon.
But the thing considering about Rubik is he's quite flexible. It depends on how well you actually play it, how the kind of skills, how you actually use up the skills to actually steal it, and yeah, considering himself with the skills, it depends on the play itself and how you actually, what kind of spells you steal, what kind of skills you do use during the play as well. I'm actually interested in this game coming from First Departure. They picked up on the Elder Titan. He's one of these heroes who actually comes out as well. He can actually play off lane real well. He can actually span up with the Astral Spirit, going off, building up all this damage, hitting over the creeps with hero units as well. The thing about MitH.Trust is that seeing the first 2 picks up from the Shadow Demons versus Clockwork, we might be seeing a lot of potential ganks coming up right here. Initiation is going to start off with Shadow Demon. Clockwork is going to be following up, going off, raiding off Initiation. At one point, if Shadow Demon is not going to be there, Clockwork is going to start it off at one point. And it's kind of like Initiation can start off with any of these heroes as well.
It's a nice combo because Shadow Demon can get whoever's in the front lines for First Departure. First Departure maybe have one of their tanky carry heroes in the front lines who's backed up by the supports. Your Shadow Demon goes in with a disruption followed up by some kind of a setup. Your Clockwork, he hooks in, catches the backline supports, and it's just this really nice sort of crowd control that Clockwork can offer you in a team fight, because he's not just, you're not always focusing all 5-on-1 hero who can be protected. Clockwork, he catches out the squishy heroes, the supports in the background.
So caching heroes, we'll just see through on what kind of heroes they want to catch in the first place. We just see through. Shadow Demon, hopefully, it varies the kind of heroes that Shadow Demon want to take down. It's like sometimes in some occasions where there's an anti-mage on the other side for the sake of with the mana burns and everything going on for the takedowns, or maybe taking down on the big heroes where they actually deal off damage with right clicks, or maybe heroes which actually cause a lot of problems for the war itself. It kind of varies on how they actually want to issue it. The thing about Clockwork, he's one of those heroes who actually dives in. Those power cogs are a nuisance. It always is. I mean, like, you want to be there to hit him, but you can't be inside unless you're part of inside. But if you're inside, you get hit by the Badger Assault and you're going to be disrupted by all those other skills by those mini stuns at the same time. Always a problematic heroes, especially with the spams by the flares at the same time. Very versatile at the same time.
Well, Dragon Knight's going to be the hero choice for first departure. As for MitH.Trust, to me this team's always been summed up by the carry player. Lakel's is always, they play a very 4 protect 1 kind of strategy. Like, they'll get Lakel's heroes, like, he's famous for his Morphling, his Clinks, his Anti-Mage. He played Weaver in the first game here. He's almost always found on some kind of a hard carry. So MitH.Trust yet to pick up any sort of carry hero for the lineup, and that's something they've got to be considering. What carry will work well against first departure? For now, they go with the support, the Leshrac. So they had their Shadow Demon Leshrac. This is your kind of just bread and butter, disruption, split earth. You guarantee yourself the stun, and then you follow up with whatever extra damage you want. But they haven't got any of their carries. They haven't even got their solo mid yet, unless we're seeing Clockwork go down that mid lane.
We might be seeing a Shadow Demon going off on the tri-lane with the track, providing with support, and Clockwork going on off-lane for this one. It's kind of like, so far, it's obvious, or maybe we'll just change out. We'll just see through on how the flow of picks up from both sides on this one.
The other thing they can do is they did an offensive trial lane in their first match, so you put the Clockwork in the safe lane as a solo, he can go 1v1 against the Elder Titan, and that's good because you're a melee hero against Clockwork. That Battery Assault really can tear you apart.
Yeah, it will be L, and considering that L side he gets buffed up with more of the Astral Spirit hitting off on more heroes, right? So rather than having a 3v1, you can have a 1-on-1 on the laning phase, and he wouldn't have much problem about it. And it's just a battle between getting off the creeps, and which one comes up better, and then the other side. And that's it. And he's going to be spamming out the power card just to mana burn other time from time to time to ensure that he doesn't spam out too much of the Astral Spirit dealing damage at the same time buffing his in terms of damage as well as movement speed.
Yeah, I definitely think that offensive trial is very likely. First departure, probably want to prepare for it. They get a 4th pick Visage. This hero made it very far into the draft. Normally this is a top 1st, 2nd pick type hero.
Yeah, when you expect base damage coming up from his skills and stuff to actually hit off.
Oh, Lakel's Morphling.
Morphling. People are kind of like the idea of having a Morphling inside. Yeah. It's like, hey, that's a surprise. It's a Morphling.
I'm looking forward to this game a lot more now.
We might be seeing a lot of babysitting going off inside this game. They got Dragon Knight and a Morphling. Probably both sides, if we were to drag the game itself, even if they didn't want to drag the game, I think first party will have the advantage in terms of that one. But if we were to drag the game, Morphling will be a force to be reckoned with inside this game as well.
Radiant team banned.
Well, we're going to see Luna banned out by MitH.Trust, the Invoker banned out by first departure. The last pick coming up for both the two teams here. First departure still have yet to get their tri-lane farmer, some kind of a carry hero. It's quite likely they could be going up against a tri-lane of MitH.Trust with the Shadow Demon Leshrac, or maybe you just want to protect the Morphling's farm. Morphling is one of those, you've really got to get him up to that sort of 2-3 big items before he can take part in fights or split push, however you want to play the hero. So it'd be maybe less likely they go for that offensive tri-lane here now they've got the Morphling.
We'll just see you, we're still missing out on a few more heroes, and it should be cleared out after we pick this one. Hopefully it's going to be an interesting
5 seconds remaining.
Well, we're still missing out. Maybe we might be seeing a Dragon Knight going off in mid lane.
Your Gyrocopter or something's probably your standard pickup here.
There's
Depending on how kind of creative first departure want to get. They haven't got much time here. They've only got 10 seconds. Gyrocopter, the big hero in the pool. They're going to go Anti-Mage though. Let's go back to TI2. Your Anti-Mage versus Morphling showdowns. This is a blast to the past. You even have some Shadow Demons in there as well. This is a true flashback.
Honest, it's usually like people will actually think twice before picking up heroes like an anti-mage when knowing themselves they got to hit themselves with the Shadow Demon on the other side, where he knows that he can actually cause disruption on the hero and costing on with 2 mana bins. Despite not having damage, the mana bins itself can actually disrupt the kind of place here with anti-mage. I'm not sure what they're trying to do here, but I think they think that, you know what, we're fine having anti-mage despite you having Shadow Demon on the other side. They don't have much lockdowns, I would say, making an escape right here. And Time Mage has to be shut down real quick, considering he's one of the heroes where you just jump in, going in for some right clicks, jumping out back, the blink.
Yeah, the disruption is annoying, but it's always a case of like anti-mage, you can maybe just initiate on the Shadow Demon with a Blink Manta, or you just avoid him. You play that split pushing style anti-mage where you just don't come to fights as much. You continuously pressure lanes and force MitH.Trust to just defend, which is not really the kind of playstyle they want to do. They want to be the ones taking team fights, getting aggressive, using this Shadow Demon Leshrac combo, as well as having a Clockwork, one of the best gankers in the game.
We might be seeing some interesting things going on at the early stage of the game. I'm expecting from this draft, considering there's a Visage going on FD, considering there's a Shadow Demon, there's some really good animation as well as burst damage heroes from these guys. We might be seeing a First Blood real quick at the early stage of the game. They might not, I don't think they're going to drag it out and expect the other heroes, they're not going to let go of the carries to actually farm up inside the
especially with the Shadow Demon Leshrac. I mean, every now and then, like, you even go for that smoke level 1 gank mid, you can gank the off lane, like catch him by surprise there. You can go anywhere on the map at level 1 and get a kill pretty much, except maybe an anti-mage with a blink, but even that, if you chain stun it perfectly, you can maybe kill him off. I
mean, I don't think they're going to be aiming off at the anti-mage, because there's other heroes. There's other options who are actually going for the chase out right here. Probably, I don't think in Elder Titan, Rubik, and escape heroes, Ruby can actually go in with telekinesis going over the left off. Visage most probably is quite squishy, I would say. He's not going to take off the skill.
5 seconds.
Last pick here, it's going to be a Kunkka for MitH.Trust. They had some extra team fight in there.
The people are loving this. We might be seeing a Kunkka.
Kunkka's probably going to be your solo mid hero up against the Dragon Knight. Or do you even put him in the tri lane? Morphling's actually a hero capable of going mid if you want to.
If you want to. We haven't seen that for quite some time. So obviously people tend to let him go in, maybe instead of going off on the tri lane. He can go off lane as well. If he's capable of himself going on or off lanes, I don't think it's going to be much of a trouble of himself going off on the mid lane at this time.
It'll definitely be Lakel's on the anti-mage, but the question is whether he goes mid or whether he just goes your standard tri-lane Morphling, because Kunkka in a tri-lane with a Shadow Demon Leshrac is a lot more potent. At the same time, you put your Kunkka mid, your Shadow Demon Leshrac, they just have to do lots of rotations. Lots of ganks on mid, smoke mid early on. You have a torrent which is guaranteed to land with the Shadow Demon Disruption setup, so I think putting the Kunkka mid is the much more standard, stable way to play this one out.
Alright, here we go. The players are picking up the heroes right here.
How do you think this anti-mage will pan out? Like, will he get enough room and space to actually farm it up and take this game, or is this going to be like too much pressure coming out from MitH.Trust?
It's got to be very pressure indeed. He's definitely going to be having that blink at level 1. He doesn't have a choice. Seeing how aggressive the gank protections come from MitH.Trust on this one, he doesn't have an option right there. I mean, he doesn't need a mana burn in first blink.
Maybe if he like scouts it out and realizes, hey, I'm against a Clockwork, then you want to go your mana break. But you're still at danger of like, hey, Shadow Demon Leshrac come up with a smoke, you've got mana break level 1, you're dead.
I mean, having a mana burn level 1, I don't think you need to mana burn the hero itself. I don't think they mind their mana being burnt.
Yeah.
They can actually recover from it, and especially they can get themselves with some alacrity potions.
Well, while we're paused, we can introduce our two teams here in our second match of today. It's our winner bracket semi-final. We've got MitH.Trust up against First Departure. On the Radiant side, it is going to be the team from Thailand, MitH.Trust. We've got TNK playing the Shadow Demon, ST on the Leshrac, Bungsol Roti playing the Kunkka. We've got Arba on the Clockwork, and then the man himself, the carry player, Lakel's is going to be handling the Morphling.
Alright, there we go for MitH.Trust, and we're looking at here from First Departure, the team from Singapore itself, from the competition itself, and we have on First Departure, Kai is going to be on Visage, and we have Lubby is going to be using off on the Rubik. Mid or Fit is going to be on the Almighty Dragon Knight, and we also have P questionable, on Elder Titan, and we're still waiting for one more. What was the other hero?
It's the Anti-Mage.
The Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage is going to be Chibix.
Yep. So he's going to be handling that big carry here, and that's really, to me, the hero this draft is built around. This is your kind of 2012 Fall Protect 1 Anti-Mage type draft. For MitH.Trust, they've got that big carry, but it's not so much Fall Protect 1, it's Fall Create Space for him. They're going to be going around the map, getting aggressive, taking team fights, initiating with your Clockwork, your Shadow Demon, following it up with a Kunkka. They don't care about sitting behind Lakel's on the Morphling, they just want to be creating space around the map by taking team fights for him.
By taking the game their way, like while they're having team fights going off in the mid lane or going off in the bottom lane, the other carry itself can actually be on the top lane. Try to get as much space so they can actually farm as much as they can.
Well, for me, First Departure, the key thing is here is not to fall behind early. Don't give up too many early kills. If this Shadow Demon Leshrac aren't successful with their rotation on the map, if you sort of scout out or at least predict their movement and don't let your solo mid DK get smoke gang, I think they're in a really good position. But if those heroes start getting kill after kill, that's where First Departure really just dig themselves into a hole.
Considering this game, I'm kind of a bit worried about come from MitH.Trust is that considering they got themselves with Kunkka. I mean, how's Team First Departure gonna hang on against all those right-click damage come from Kunkka once he get himself with a let's assume that this game goes late game. He got himself with some really sufficient items, up to 4 to 5 really cool items himself, going off for the right click and actually going for the takedown on probably the Visage will end up like red HP like an Ultraman and yeah, something like that. And Rubik might just be taken down since his stats off. The only high durability heroes you have right here, let's say even if Anti-Mage actually has some durability items, he got himself with Hard Saras, himself with the Butterfly, Mana Star, I think. Those are the guys who can actually endure all the damage coming off from MitH.Trust. And they need to get the BKB. The BKB plays right here against MitH.Trust at one point in the game as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point with the Kunkka, because with MitH.Trust, you can, if you focus all your eggs on just shutting down the Lakel's basket and just try and just continually shut him down, then your Kunkka's off, getting a lot of farm in the mid lane, he's going to be just building himself up, getting some big items like you say, and then it's like, okay, not just a Morph we have to deal with, there's a Kunkka as well. First Departure have that second carry somewhat with the Dragon Knight, but Dragon Knight does not dish out anywhere near as much damage as a Kunkka does.
Yep. Because, I mean, he can endure the damage, that's whatever brought up by Kunkka, but he can't deal, I don't think at one point he can actually deal as much damage as how Kunkka can actually deal now.
He has got one thing, the Elder Titan Aura. Natural Order makes everyone a lot squishier.
That is going to be a problem.
No, I mean, gets rid of their magic resistance as well as their base armor, and heroes like you look at Morphling, who's like, late in the game, he's going to have a ton of agility, he'll get up to something like 15, 20 base armor. Well, Elder Titan, his aura, there goes your armor. Similar story for heroes like Kunkka, Clockwork. These are heroes with kind of fairly high armor later in the game. They're going to have to be building plus armor items. Like you almost need like an Assault Crest on your Kunkka or something just to make yourself sustainable against that Elder Titan. Well, unfortunately, guys, we do have a bit of a pause here with a couple connection problems for two of the players. Should be able to hopefully get them reconnected back in soon.
Yeah, it should be fine soon. Considering that, yeah, the people are already on their way to actually face up with the problem right here.
Cool.
I'd say in terms of this game, in terms of team fights, we might be seeing, I think, more gameplay potential come from MitH.Trust compared to Team First Departure. They might be doing some. Still surprised with Anti-Mage pick, and also still surprised. I mean, the people are excited to actually see how Kunkka's being played by MitH.Trust on this one.
Yeah, I think the big ganking advantage goes to MitH.Trust almost purely because of the Clockwork. Like they get the Clockwork as their offlaner, who's just, I mean, hook shots just your bread and butter long range initiation. As for First Departure, they've got an Elder Titan in the offlane and Dragon Knight at mid. Neither's that good of a ganking hero. Dragon Knight, when he has his level 6 ulti, can use that stun to initiate in range form, but you almost need to be smoked or catching out someone from fog, because even running directly at them is going to be scattered out very easily and quickly. So
I mean, the only like big AoE stun they actually have right here at the early stage they can actually rely on is only from the lockdown from Elder Titan.
And you're generally not getting that stun anyways before like level 9, level 10.
You were lucky enough where the other team kind of like screwed up and managed to actually be win one compile. And you need to remember, it's not like a constant lockdown where everybody's going to have a different duration. It's just that the moment you get hit, it's going to be like, it's a sleep. It's not itself as a stun.
Yeah. It does maybe allow you to have that long range. Hey, you get the stun off, you can get closer up to them to actually get the Dragon Tail off or to get one of those other key spells off to actually set up a kill. But we'll have the two players connect back into the game now. Chibi picks up his Anti-Mage. Looks like MitH.Trust are ready, just waiting on First Departure now, and then we will be getting underway with our winner bracket semi-final. Whoever wins this, as said earlier, is guaranteed top 3, guaranteed prize money as well for this match. So this is a crucial match for both these two teams. Teams that people sort of, I mean, knew quite a bit about coming in, expected them to do well, but wouldn't have expected them to be walking away with the title. But you get into that winner bracket final, suddenly you're in a best of 1 against Mineski or someone like Titan, and if you win that, you're top 2. So it really is doable for either of these two teams to get top 2, top 3.
Yeah, considering that even the idea is like, even when people say that even if you lost here, you can actually crawl back from the lower bracket, but it's not going to be that easy. It's going to be more longer matches where you have to win more matches to actually reach up back into the finals, being the winner for the losers bracket as well. And you have to fight with those who actually win out in the winners bracket. For those who already proceed on maybe to the finals of the winners bracket or maybe semi-final, it's going to be harder at one point. So that is crucial to stay on with the winners bracket as long as you can.
That's where StarTel could be in trouble. Like they played so well against Mineski, really pushed Mineski to the limit there, but suddenly they're in the loser bracket in the first round and have to go through team after team after team to make their way back into that sort of title contention. Well, we get ourselves back underway. We've got ourselves a game. First Departure versus MitH.Trust. Best of 1, winner bracket semi-final. The two teams going to roll themselves back up. I'm going to remind myself as well as viewers, the players can hear us on stage. They are not wearing noise-cancelling headphones.
Yeah,
so
they're not.
I need to remember not to say stuff I shouldn't, which is...
So we're not going to call off any gang attempts until it actually happens. We're not going to call out any Roshan attempt as well. We had a few problems.
Can't even talk about the lanes yet.
We can't even talk about it. That's the thing. Unless they were actually engaging
I think the
in
Shadow Demon's going solo mid. I think that's what's going to happen here. It's the new meta.
That would be interesting. All I can do is give you a hand gesture showing how excited I am for this one, right?
Yeah.
So she can get to understand it, right? I can't say it.
Just careful. Keep those hands to yourself. Now, MitH.Trust and First Departure. I'll have to see what will actually go down between these two teams here. Generally, the early game stages, trying to figure out what your opponent's lanes are going to be. You talk about MitH.Trust, they have the potential to go offensive tri lane, but they can also just put the Morphling in the safe lane, in the mid lane. They're definitely very versatile with what they can do. And it looks like now, after some early game scouting for the two teams, they are going to look to start setting up their lanes how they want to.
Right, we have a pause.
Kunkka just going to...
Oh yeah, I thought he wanted to go to the toilet, but yeah, he's going to disconnect from the game.
I think we're all good here, well hopefully, but we can see our lanes shaping up now. And not going to talk too much about them as the players don't know
We can't say anything about
yet.
it, so guys, basically just look at whatever's going on the map.
Looking at the drafts as a whole, do you favor either of the two teams? I mean, you talked about MitH.Trust having the better ganking, but how does First Departure work with the Antimates? Like, do you think they've got a weaker lineup, or is it just going to come down to how they play it?
Well, it's true how it's...
Like, which draft do you kind of prefer here?
I mean, to be honest, if I was in First Departure, I'll be pissed. It's kind of hard to actually break through with MitH.Trust. There's a lot of, there's a lot of follow-up that can actually happen right here. Going off the disruption by the Shadow Demon can actually save a hero, as well as going off on initiation. There's also Kunkka going off with the torrent. There's always with the hook shot, flares, the battery assault coming on from. So basically, there's a few lockdowns. I would say there's 4 lockdowns coming off from Team MitH.Trust. There's also the thing is a Morphling is waiting patiently, trying to farm out some good items so he can actually be a force to be reckoned with inside the game as well. The thing about First Departure, I think in order to go against MitH.Trust on this one, they need to wait up until mid game to actually be able to do something to deal out against all these lockdowns which they actually brought inside the game.
Alright, well, we'll have our lanes now revealed to ourselves. It's going to be that solo versus solo, Kunkka versus DK in the mid lane. And top lane, we get our tri lane versus tri lane. MitH.Trust do opt to put Lakel's up there in the tri lane. This is going to cause Antimates problems. You've got 3 range through, Shadow Demon Disruption as a setup spell. And this is First Departure just can't really fight. And it's very rare you say a tri lane with a Visage can't fight an enemy tri lane. But this is one of those cases where I feel First Departure have to play very defensively. Bottom lane, a lot of harass going down here coming out.
I mean, in terms of trying, I would say in the top lane, I think it's siding more towards MitH.Trust, I would say, because considering with the telekinesis provided by Rubik and slow providence by Visage, I don't think that's going to be good enough to actually go in. Because disruption duration itself, by the time duration ends, they should be already cut off loose from all those slows provided as well. Mid lane, I think considering DK laning out with the Kunkka, I think DK will survive out real well. He got himself Dragon's Blood on the third skill. He can actually survive with all those damage coming from the Tidebringer as well.
Yeah. First Departure know they can't really fight this trial in the top, it feels like to me, and that's why they're just going to keep on using these pulls here. They're
top lane.
Disruption, starting to follow it up. Chibi in trouble. Needs the blink out, gets the blink out. Just in time there. I mean, at this point, they've got clarities, they've got the mana to sort of use these spells and just harass the Antimage back. It's kind of just reminding him, hey, Antimage, you can't come up to this creep wave. You can't go for these last hits. If you do, we're going to, even if they're not killing him, they're just pushing him back, keeping him away from the creep wave.
I mean, it's not just that. I mean, the idea at the start of the game is that if you have a lot of mana, you know it's going to regenerate back, why not spend it? And make sure that, reduce the amount of HP come from the carry from the lane itself. Chibix know he can actually speak. They know that they couldn't go in for the kill. They knew that there was going to be a Ruby going off for the follow-up, going off for the save. So he's just going to keep spamming on disruption, going off the damage, taking down Chibix as much as he can.
The waveform not going to be sort of in range of the Antimage. Smartly blinks to the side here, but this mana is being replenished. This HP regeneration is not. He's using up Tangos, he's using up salves. This is going to keep running out, and Chibix only has 2 last hits. He's lost money in this top lane with the regen he's been using to keep himself alive. MitH.Trust going to deny the creep extension as well. They're not going to get that second pull off. This is all their First Departure can really do, is go for pull after pull and try and out-level their opponents here. They know they can't farm too well. Antimage will get more farm under the tower, but This has just been a big struggle for First Departure at top.
But MitH.Trust managed to actually prevent the pull to actually happen. You can see we also saw one, but that was a good attempt, I would say.
Well, looking at bot lane, it looks like Pelusin on that Elder Titan's been having a couple problems here against the Clockwork. Did go for the boots first, and that's kind of why you struggle. 1v1, you don't normally want the boots first. Normally you want to get the boots as an offlaner if you're up against a tri-lane, but against the Clockwork, it's going to cause you problems.
I mean, unless he gets himself with the boot speed trying to go in for chasing power, knowing that...
You don't want to chase a Clockwork with battery assault.
Yeah. No, I mean, because I think he wants to go in for the chase right here, going off with the battery assault on chasing off for the Elder Titan. I mean, considering, yes, it's a mini stun, but I mean, a little bit of mobility to ensure that things happen really well.
Well, it looks like the support's missing from top lane for quite a while, but Kunko's just been playing so defensively at this mid lane, and that's sort of keeping him alive. Is this one actually going to kill him off? The Ghost first blood, MitH.Trust strike first. Singapore in First Departure. The supports left the Anti-Mage alone, and without the telekinesis, without the Visage there as well, providing some firepower, MitH.Trust has find themselves an early kill. Level 3 is all they needed.
I mean, to be honest, they were lucky enough that Soul Catcher actually hits off on the Anti-Mage rather than hitting off on other freaks. I was kind of surprised. I was like, there was a lot of freaks going on. What are the odds that it will hit that specific Anti-Mage inside the lane phase?
Oh, MitH.Trust, they strike first, and now the supports are back towards this top lane. But suddenly, MitH.Trust have been, First Departure have been pulling in this trialing, but they're behind on levels. With the MitH.Trust supports just leeching experience from lane, also getting some experience from that kill. Suddenly it's MitH.Trust who are ahead on levels as well as ahead on farm. The only hero who seems to be doing really well is this Dragon Knight in mid lane, who's actually outlasting the Kunkka. So Dragon Knight, middle feet, is doing a fantastic job against Kunkka.
He shouldn't be having much problem right there because he got himself Dragon's Blood.
Well, I think Kunkka has a slight edge, but I think the reason why Kunkka isn't lasting as well as he could is because he was playing so defensively when First Departure's supports went missing. The supports go missing on the map, and Kunkka's like, I'm just going to sit way back here.
Like, anything can happen, so a gang might happen, like whatever happened before.
Elder Titan actually gets pushed out of this bottom lane. Partly because Clockwork's hit level 6. As soon as that hookshot comes online, you've got to be so careful. One hookshot and you're almost guaranteed dead against this Clockwork in a 1v1.
So Anti-Mage didn't have himself with a good start, dying off his carry. That's considered as not a good idea to actually die off his carry. So you need to spawn as well. And once again, non-stop going off for the catch right here, Disruption. Going off the start of Chivix.
Yeah, the telekinesis is help out. They're going to turn this one around. DK's actually TP'd in for this one. SD goes DK's going for more. TNK doesn't have boots, and middle feed should be able to get this kill. Couple more right clicks. First Departure. They get themselves on the board. Such a smart rotation from the Dragon Knight.
Spectacular gameplay. I was surprised DK being there at the right time right there. The moment they set up with initiation coming up, I think they kind of knew that they're going to harass Anti-Mage quite a lot. Disruption caused up by Shadow Demon. And they were right there going off the stun, going off the takedown. So double kill went up with the Visage.
Yeah, they were not ready for that one. The rune not going to spawn where the Dragon Knight wanted it to. He's not going to be able to pick it up here, but top lane once again. Kells is still farming well. I guess that's the thing for MitH.Trust. That fight at top lane goes horribly wrong for them, but it goes wrong only for the support. Now mid lane. Middle feed is trouble. The Clockwork's rotating as well. Not really enough damage being dealt to this Dragon Knight though. He's still alive. Lashrak comes in as well, secures the kill though. They needed that Lashrak there as well. Looks like he didn't TP in, he just sort of rotated from top lane and
revenge being served.
Yeah.
Going off in the mid lane.
I mean, I like this. Clockwork, once you hit that level 6, there's no point staying bottom, continuing to farm.
Yeah, he gets
even if Elder Titan's there, it's like, well, your level 6 is a Clockwork, your role is to gank.
But the thing is, Elder Titan wasn't there. Even while he was still farming going off with level 6, Elder Titan was already missing at that point, but he wasn't in any of the lanes.
Well, looks like some de-warding action coming out from the Visage, but he needs to... Okay, so the Observe Ward for Vision, he needs to be fast for this one. Okay, gets it just in time.
He got it.
If that Observe Ward expired, he would not have got that de-ward off. Well, MitH.Trust now. Getting this Morphling. He's still just level 4 though, so looking at some of these hero levels, MitH.Trust, their solo's doing great, but because the Trialen's been sharing all this experience, only just now will we see our Morphling get himself up to level 5, and that's level 3 waveform, fairly important to have just for the damage output.
I think things are doing good for Team First Departure right here. The carry's not having a good time in his own lane. But sometimes him knowing that every time he comes close, oh, they're good. Initiation coming in.
Waveforms into them here. There is a Shadow Demon disruption. Can be used defensively, but Middlefield taking a ton of damage. Clockwork shows up at the top lane. Shadow Demon the first to take a fall. He's got no blink out. Chivix is trapped in the cog. He's going to go down regardless, but Elder Titan shows up. The ulti only going to catch out Arbor. Not enough damage being done. Clockwork gets a double kill as Mikkells is chasing the Dragon Knight as he goes the mana for this. The Hook's not going to miss! Oh, Lakells,
Oh,
you've got to
that
get
was
out of the
bad.
way there. And now Lakells is in all sorts of trouble. Is there enough damage to bring him down? Split Earth's not going to land, and Clockwork.
Strap-based red, going off the
Oh.
chase. Minute stun. No, it's not.
There's no way out for him, but the Kunka's now showing up at the top lane as well.
That's right, there's something about it, going off for some right clicks.
I don't know about this one. Buxel Roti's on the run here. Dragon Tail going to land, and now the Rubik's actually back alive. Has a telekinesis.
Oh, there we go.
Defensive disruption. I don't know if it's going to matter. SD needs to look for a split Earth. He needs to catch multiple heroes.
Oh!
Chibix gets the kill on the anti-mage, and what a turnaround coming out from first departure. It started off really badly for him. Anti-mage blinking in and going down, but they managed to bounce back later on.
Yeah, bounce back. So from that initiation, 2-1 trade-off. 3-1. 2-1. So in favor of team departure for this one. I think Schubert going out in favor of team departure.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was kind of surprised.
Radiant's
I think there was a
middle tower is
miscommunication
under
going on.
attack.
If they kind of knew that, they could just ask Morphling to actually move a bit to the side so they actually go in for the hook shot, hitting off on the DK.
I feel like Morphling, and he didn't have mana for another waveform. He was just chasing the Dragonite so far. I don't know what his plan was to kill him. Clockwork was the one they needed in there, so I think Lakel's just got a bit too eager there and just overextended, and that really cost him there at top. Well, gonna have to see what MitH.Trust look to do next here. If they continue to go at this top lane. They've kept 3 heroes here for a long time, and Lakel's kind of needs the backup here. We're going to see initiation on the Shadow Demon. Invis Dragonite catches him out. That'll be an easy pick-off.
Anti-mage got
They
it.
who
Yeah.
live by the wand.
He needs all he can get. He's
Die by
had
my
2 deaths to
blade.
himself. He's up to 30 CS now, so he is starting to catch up to this Morphling and picks up a Ring of Health with a Magic Wand, so not doing all too bad, but that Battle Fury is going to be a long, long way off still.
So Clockwork decides to go back, rotate back into the bottom lane, try to get a little bit of farms, just in case he wants to get some decent items so he can actually perform better.
He's got the TP scroll, so he can always show up at any lane very quickly. All the tier 1 towers still up, so he can be mid-top sort of at a
Dire's
moment's
bottom
notice.
tower
Not to
is under
mention,
attack.
he's got the Rocket Flare maxed out, so he can actually do damage anywhere on the map, and quite a decent amount of damage with this maxed out Rocket Flare.
So right now in the kill death assist on the scoreboard, going off with the first place, go with Clockwork, 3 kills and 1 death. Besides 2 clean hit. Oh, mid lane
Torrent.
going off
Gonna
with
be a
Torrent.
split Earth to follow up as well. The boat being used here. Kai taking a lot of damage. He's going to go down. Nice
Wow.
long-range initiation. SD may pay for this one with his like middle feeds coming in. He's got the ulti, but not going to go in on SD there. Did have a double damage as well, and
He didn't even go in with the right click with Tidebreaker, and they managed to take down on the Visage as well.
yeah, they're afraid of this Clockwork always. Clockwork can just show up at any time, and that's something
Anytime.
which, for first departure, they do not want to even chance an overextension because they will be punished for it by Arbor.
Alright, so finally Anti-Mage has a little bit of space, I would say, trying to get some decent farms. I think it's unlikely for him to actually get a Battle Fury anytime in between 20 minutes if he's lucky enough. Or
Yeah.
else he'll just have to give up on it and try to go in for some other items as well.
It's hard enough just to farm against a Morphling. Morphling, with a lot of agility morph, just hits so much harder than he does. Sitting on sort of 80 plus damage here. So Anti-Mage, even with the Ring of Health, his space HP is just so pitiful that any harass really does cripple him.
I mean, considering the kind of babysit that provided by these guys, having the Disruptor going on for the save with the Disruption as well, it should be fine, I guess, coming from. So we might be seeing a shotgun plays come from Morphling, or might be going for stat-based items as well.
Blows are getting very aggressive on this bottom lane. Arbor going to just cogs and sort of block him out, but the telekinesis will pull him back. Chibik's even going to show up on this one as well, but Arbor, he's so tanky here with the treads, the bracer. There's not enough damage to actually bring him down there, and first departure committed 4 heroes to that with a hook.
There we go,
Through
missed
the
one.
disruption. That's a mistake from Arbor. He could go down for this one. Anti-Mage
What happened?
still alive.
Miscommunication once again.
Chibix is okay here. He's going to blink in a couple of seconds here. Actually, maybe not with the
here we
torrent
go.
to follow.
Going
No
over to chase
torrent
Chibix.
actually there, and Chibix still alive. He gets very low from a lightning storm, and now it's a Kunka gets stunned up near the tower. The clean from catches out the Anti-Mage.
Tidebringer!
Oh man, Clockwork.
That was a mistake. He should have
How
just
is
left as quick as
this
he could.
Clockwork still alive? He's so low.
I mean, he
Elder
was actually
Titan,
staying as far
it's
back.
chasing. It's
Oh!
I don't know if it would have done enough, but it would have been very close.
Wow, this is interesting.
Dire's top tower
DK was
is
still
under
chasing at
attack.
bottom. he was committing to that one. This is where I feel first departure, they're trying to fight too much. They're getting, look at this, so underleveled. Their solos, their carry, all level 8. Compared to MitH.Trust, level 10 on the Kunka, level 9 on the Clockwork. And then Trialing carry the Morphling, he's already up to level 8 as well. So MitH.Trust with a big experience lead, it looks like, and it's reflected in the graph. 3,000 in their advantage.
So say MitH.Trust is having the upper hand at this stage of the game itself, and looking at the gold graph as well as peace graph, it's leading more and more towards Team MitH.Trust. Contributions coming on from the first blood provided, as well as the amount of kills with a 1 kill gap, 7-6 in 30 minutes inside the game. I mean, as expected from a gangster team, this kind of that much advancing result.
Yes, I feel like lineups with Elder Titan are sort of geared for fighting even when you're somewhat behind, because the aura just sort of makes up for so much of any sort of goal deficit you might have. And we're seeing Morphling here just being annoying, even gets an anti-mage replicate just for the harass, but Chibix, he hasn't even leveled Mana Break. He says, I'm against the Shadow Demon, I'm against the Morphling, I don't need that Mana Break. Oh, mid lane, it's going to get killed there on the Dragon. It looks like MitH.Trust rotated a lot of heroes in for that one.
Oh, that was...
And they're going to get a kill here. Going to look to follow this one up with a tower. And I don't think First Departure have the numbers to actually defend this. They're sort of grouped up near this top lane. And, well, Lashrak, even with just the 1 point in the Diabolic Edict, there's enough damage to bring it down. Undefended tower. And then MitH.Trust say, let's get back to farming. Protect Lakel's top, farm bottom, and keep farming mid.
It's like a focus fight. He didn't have to worry about it, because considering it's going to hit off on the tower directly.
I'll have to see what First Departure's next move is here. If they look to sort of get ganking, get active on the map, or if they just sort of realize, hey, we've got to counter gank, we've got to just soak up this pressure and just wait for MitH.Trust to make a mistake.
Right, Morphling having the time of his life right here. He's been staying on top lane for a long time. Oh, there we go, initiation picking up on the Morphling. And he takes off on the SCR, making an escape right here.
Oh, it's so hard to find the boat. The boat's going to land on the
still surviving!
Oh, Anti-Mage gets out of there.
Oh,
Going to get turned around. Rubik stole the boat. MitH.Trust now in all sorts of trouble. This Morphling's so low, he's going to go down. 2 kills for First Departure. Kunkka as well as Morphling. Visage wants some more, but MitH.Trust, the supports have backed off pretty far here. Clockwork now throws a rocket flare, but that was from way down south.
That was a surprise.
First Departure, you can see at the top of the screen, they're all sitting around half HP or even less, but they got the 2 kills. They got out of there without losing a single hero, and MitH.Trust not getting anything out of that.
I mean, the idea they're not going to stay around to actually get hit by Shadow Demon's spams from this skill with Shadow Poison, so they're just going to back off and, you know, like try to generate, come back inside the lanes back and forth. Right.
I have never seen an Anti-Mage skill build this defensive.
Oh, alright. Oh, that's a surprise, I would say.
Max spell shield straight up.
I think he knows that he's having problem considering that the other side they have heroes like Lashrak and also have Shadow Demon. I mean, like, those are like magic based attacks.
Yes. Everything that's killing him right now is magic based. The waveform, the Lashrak with the max out lightning storm, it's all magic damage. Later on it'll be physical damage. You'll get your Kunkka later on, you'll get your Morphling who starts doing some right-click damage, but for the next probably 10 minutes of the game, magic damage is his one enemy.
I mean, the BKB might solve all this problem right here. I think they really need...
For the anti-mage?
Yeah, for the anti-mage as well.
It comes like a long way down the road. You want your Battle Fury first, you even want probably your Manta style first, so the BKB to me is like your 3rd item maybe.
I mean, let's have a look at anti-mage right now. He's already like 15 minutes inside the game. He already got himself the Ring of Health. He already got himself with the Stout Shield, and basically that's it. Do you think that he's going to go through with the Battle Fury, or it's like he needs to, even if he's...
I think like Battle Fury is just such, like, even if you're getting Battle Fury 25 minutes in the game, I still think it's like the best item you can get on Anti-Mage. Because that's where you start farming fast. A lot of damage being dealt here onto Chibix on the Anti-Mage, but Morphling has a replicate, gets himself out of there. First Departure actually had a number of heroes here waiting at bottom. Elder Titan and Rubik both revealing themselves, and Morphling has the easy escape, has the replicate. Let's see if First Departure want to keep committing to this bottom lane. Oh, Dragon Knight on the backlines here. He's going to get him with the Dragon Tail. The split out's going to come a bit too late. The stun's already there. Defensive disruption being used, but the familiar stun going to land on top of TNK.
Oh,
he goes down.
Still managed to go in for the same knowledge.
This Lashrak should be dead as well. There's a Dragon Tail. He gets lifted up in the air. He's going to go down. Clockwork shows up, but it's too late. They're already fighting 3v5 here. Even with Morphling going in, there's a lot of damage here. They bring down the Elder Titan. Chibix forced to blink out of this one. Can MitH.Trust actually turn this around? They're fighting 3v5, and the Solar Something going to finish up with a Mana Void. What a play coming out from First Departure. They get 3. They're looking for a 4th here. Abe is stuck. He's going to be forced up, but no TP out. He actually TP'd into this fight. Force away.
7 more seconds away from the power.
He's just trying to buy time.
A bit more. No, anti-mage will going off on a chase, but I don't think his blink is going to be sufficient now.
He's going to die eventually. It's just like how much time can he waste? He
was a bit too late on that one.
Yeah. Well, the gold experience gets shared amongst First Departure, and they're now suddenly up 12 kills to 9. That was a great wraparound here. The DK coming in from behind, they pick off the supports, and then MitH.Trust made the mistake of still trying to fight. Sure, First Departure use up their cooldowns. It's 5v3 though. You're fighting against these colossal odds.
I mean, it was too late the moment the Leshrac went down and he decided to go in for the hook shot, trying to go in for some initiation. It was too late. Shadow Demon was already gone down as well.
If it's just the Shadow Demon who's gone down, maybe you can find a way to make that fight work. But with the Leshrac dead as well,
I think Leshrac should have just hidden himself inside the trees rather than popping himself, and then they kind of saw him.
Well, once he threw that stun there to try to save Shadow Demon, it's like, okay, we know he's there.
I think they knew he was kind of there. I think the best he could have done is like at least try during the shift, try to go in for the Shadow Demon, trying to make his way to his behind the tower rather than being there, trapped out.
Radiant's middle tower is under
So
attack.
Morphling, he got himself with the ultimate orb. It won't be long. He might be going on for the Lincoln Sphere.
So despite the kill advantage, despite those fights going well, First Departure, the Golgraf says, hey, they're not winning.
Yeah.
MitH.Trust are farming well. I mean, just look at the way most of the CSs stand. It's Morphling, Clockwork, and Kunkka, all with an item advantage. Clockwork actually saw that last fight. He's got a 4-stuff already. He had this like 16 minutes in the game. Morphling almost completed a Lincoln Sphere. This is actually, even with these fights not going well, it's still looking good for MitH.Trust.
It's kind of obvious that he is going directly for BKB on this one. He got himself with the Ogre Axe. I think the idea of the difference between the gold graphs is maybe contributions come from the Morphling getting himself with the forms. He wasn't part of the initiation whatsoever happened before. So he actually had those free times to actually get all those goals and stuff for the team. So despite losing out 9-12 in 19 minutes inside the game, Team MitH.Trust is still leading out in terms of into goal difference as well.
Well, Kunkka reveals his shiny new Shadow Blade at the mid lane, so that Invis initiation not going to catch out First Departure by surprise, at least not at this point, but where you look at MitH.Trust, their 3 core heroes all pretty much have their early game items. Your Clockwork with his 4-stuff, your Kunkka with his Shadow Blade. They're just missing that Lincoln Sphere recipe on Mikkel's, but he's had this Ultimate Orb and Perseverance for some time now. That Lincoln's is coming soon. First Departure, Anti-Mage, no Battle Fury. Elder Titan has got his mech, that's the one key item they've got, but Dragonite, he's farming for a BKB, and that BKB is still a bit of a ways off, so MitH.Trust are much stronger in the team fights with actual items completed right now.
I mean, despite it didn't turn out well in terms of the scoreboards, I think it didn't match out well in terms of the war that actually ignite on this one. So First Departure kind of like made it better. So despite them not having the advantage in terms of ganking potentials. So right now they really need to wait out. They really need to wait until Anti-Mage can get himself Battlefield to increase his speed of farming as well.
Yeah. Well, he's finally got 1 point in the mana break. He decides, okay, I better do what anti-mages are meant to do, which is
it's like, if I didn't have mana break, I shouldn't be anti-mage in the first place.
Everything that goes along with that, but it's so annoying versing Shadow Demon, versing Morphling replicates as well as an anti-mage that he might not even level it up for some time. You ultimately do want to max it out because it does so much damage, but leveling it up early on is just more damage that can be used against yourself.
I
mean, so far throughout the game, because we knew that anti-mage didn't picked up on the mana burn on any part of his skills throughout, he already reached out to level 10 or level 9, right? So the thing is, he was actually relying on his mana void to land on a hero after he actually spent off on all the skills. And yeah, that's it. That's the only means for him to actually ensure that the heroes already spent up all his mana.
Some of these heroes often use up their mana, like looking at heroes like Morphling. But to see an X-Tor initiation middle,
with a
be in trouble.
DK.
No bow. It's
no follow-up.
They're just pushing it back. They probably want to just, they're going to guarantee the tower tonight. Back off. They do not really want to fight First Departure. The Elder Titan's got the maxed out Astral Spirit and Natural Order, and that's a decent amount of damage, as well as just amplifying your entire team's damage output with that aura. Mikkel's has got his Lincoln Spirit bottom lane. He's going to just get his way out of there. Decides he's pushed it up way too far. TP's his way top and has found another lane to actually start himself farming. And Anti-Mage does the same thing. He's like, okay, I'm done at top. Let's go bottom. This is where we enter the stage of the game where Anti-Mage and Morphling are just going to be trading farm. And the other 4 heroes for each team are going to be looking around for whatever farm they can get and possibly trying to just find some ganks. Maybe we look for both teams going for some smokes, although a lot of those smokes were used in the first 10-15 minutes of the game.
I mean, shouldn't the idea of Morphling and Anti-Mage rotating to the other side, on the opposite side, should be done at the early stage of the game? Considering that, he was having a hard time going up the top lane at early stage. If he did this at the early stage, he would have been better.
I think the Clockwork is, like Anti-Mage can't really solo the Clockwork once he's behind on levels and farm. So at that point you have to rotate 3 heroes bottom, and it's too big of an investment for First Departure really.
No pass.
But big thing is here, MitH.Trust, they've been pressuring towers all over the map. All 3 Tier 1 towers on the First Departure side have been knocked down, whereas for First Departure, only this mid tower was taken. That actually got denied, so they're missing a lot of money here. And this is where this Battle Fury, 23 minutes in the game, we still haven't got it for First Departure's chippings.
And Mage going off behind the tower, going off in the tier 1 tower bottom
Dire's
lane.
top tower is under attack.
Well, MitH.Trust are trying to pressure this top tier 2 tower. They've got Morphling there, Clockwork there, and I think First Departure, possibly a smart decision to try to just pressure bottom as well. They do not want to fight MitH.Trust right now at the top lane. They see the Lincoln through on the Kells, also a Ghost Scepter completed, so that gives them even more stats, and that means that Shotgun and Ethereal Blade is coming up and coming up soon.
Dire's top tower.
I think MitH.Trust kind of like win out in terms of this one because basically they can manage to push out the tier 2 tower in top lane. Well, these guys are still struggling to take down the tier 1 tower going off in the bottom lane.
It's not so much, I feel like it's not even entirely that they're struggling, it's that they didn't want to commit to it. They had heroes just sitting around in fog, but they're not actually doing damage to it. They're afraid of MitH.Trust. If you're wondering, hey, are First Departure winning because they're up 12 kills to 9? When you see a tier 2 tower traded for nothing, and First Departure scared to go for this tier 1 tower, that's where you know MitH.Trust are the ones leading right now.
Oh, leaving in the right time right there. Anside Mage before he saw by the player.
Well, First Departure, they do have the BKB up on the Dragon Knight now, which will
yeah,
help
it's
out
really
a
done.
lot in these team fights.
It's done. He got himself the BKB, so he can actually initiate safely. So right now he has the longest duration of 10 seconds, going off with the BKB, not popped up at any time soon.
It keeps him alive, that's for sure, but as for
sure.
whether or not he can do enough damage in these fights, with I mean, whether his team can, it's...
The idea is having a BKB come from the Dragon Knight right now, considering they have a lot of magical damage come from Team MitH.Trust, is that to ensure that he actually survives it out, he doesn't die out, because he got himself with those, his passive from his Elder Dragon form is actually really good. So it's splash damage. You want to ensure those things keep on being there the whole time. High durability from Elder Dragon form as well.
I feel like the scary thing for First Departure is even with the BKB on the Dragon Knight and the front lines keeping him alive, MitH.Trust's damage output all in a big AoE. You've got Clockwork who can hook the back lines. You've got Kunkka who's just going to be doing a ton of AoE damage with Tidebringer, with Boat. That First Departure, the rest of the team, while Dragon Knight may live, Visage, Rubik, Elder Titan, these heroes are just food.
Dragon Knight mainly, this was the question at early stage of the game. What if these guys have some major right-click damage come from Kunkka? He got himself with the Daedalus, he got himself with the Battle Fury as well. Those splash damage is going to be, it's going to do a one-hit wipeout towards heroes like Rubik as well as Visage. Probably Visage just survive out with Ray HP.
Anti-Mage has got his Battle Fury now.
Yeah, saw that cleaving. So in 24 minutes inside the game, he got himself with the Battle Fury.
Yep.
So
but you compare that to your Morphling. Let's take a look at the net worth. Morphling up to like 12,000. Anti-Mage just about to hit the 8,000 mark. He is well behind this Morphling.
I mean, because he's actually lower than a DK. I think DK had it better farming off in the mid lane. He had like equal chances against with the...
and he's been revealed. That's unfortunate.
Oh, that was unfortunate. It's fine. Wait, nobody disconnected, right?
Well, both teams see each other here, I'm pretty sure.
Screen went, so, right. I thought it was kind of like those final pause. But considering it's a player himself, yeah, it's not a final pause.
It's a puppy pause.
It's a puppy pause.
Confirmed puppy pause. We're going to get a go here. We should see an immediate blink out. Yep. He paused exactly as the smoke wore off on the Kunkka. It was very unfortunate timing. You couldn't even you couldn't even react that fast to pause as soon as he was revealed.
He was that legendary in pausing too.
Yeah. Well, we're looking at Morphling with a ton of farm. And this is really a worry for First Departure. This Morphling is just getting bigger and bigger. He's getting so much space on this map.
So Morphling's getting bigger for this one. We're not saying he's fat. He's going for the shotgun plays this time.
Yeah. I think shotgun's the right way to play a game like this. You're not looking at big team fights. You're not really needing to push. You can just pick off one hero, turn any fight into a 4v5, or pick off heroes who are farming by themselves. Maybe not the Anti-Mage with the maxed out spell shield, but almost anyone else can be brought down by a shotgun Morphling.
The thing about shotgun plays is that they manage to take down heroes one by one by one, rather than surviving those battles. Take down heroes, go back out, fight another day, come back again. Every time it actually cools down, finish loss. The shotgun plays is actually good out. So maybe the thing about MitH.Trust, since they're having a good time trying to go in with farms, they got some really good networks in terms of heroes as well. They might not want to extend the game to its late game. They were going to have dealing a lot of trouble for Team First Departure on this one.
Yeah, I think the next sort of 5-10 minutes of the game can be where MitH.Trust really look to just take control. They can just go for tower. They can start taking these other tier 2 towers. They got the one top uncontested. They can do the same thing at bottom lane, the same thing at mid. Then they can look towards the Roshan pit. They're just sort of taking, I mean, they've got map control right now. This kill score is very misleading. It's MitH.Trust who have far better map control, much better team fight. They've got the item advantage as well. They'll have a BKB soon on this Kunkka to go with his Shadow Blade, and at that point, fighting for First Departure will really struggle to take these fights. the one thing they've kind of got going is that Anti-Mage can burn a lot of the Morphling's mana and look for those big mana voids, but that's only if Anti-Mage can actually stay alive in a fight.
I mean, considering he's going to be playing some shotgun plays, so maybe he got himself with the ethereal form. I don't think Anti-Mage can actually do some attacks. So I think the idea of having shotgun...
Well, you go ethereal form, then the mana void could like do even more damage, I guess.
Yeah.
It works both ways.
Yeah, it works both ways as well. Because it's either that or actually he wants to go for some shotgun base where he actually can deal all this burst damage to Anti-Mage to prevent him from actually escaping. Despite all the slowdowns, you need to ensure they have enough to take down Anti-Mage before he blinks out. Because the cooldown is really, really fast, especially considering this Anti-Mage. I think we kind of know he kind of maxed out on the blink.
Well, things are getting heated up here in our winner bracket semi-final of the ACG Dota 2 Championship. Winner of this moves on to the winner bracket final, which is a guaranteed top 3, guaranteed at least I think $5,000 or $6,000 US dollars in prize money.
It's a guarantee, so it's a very crucial match.
Yeah.
It's worth the win.
You win this, even if you just bomb out and like I think if you win this, you don't play again until tomorrow. Maybe, I think it's maybe one more match for the winner bracket final day. But
yeah, you can give an excuse like
even if you you win this, you bomb out, you lose the rest of your matches, you lose the winner bracket final, you lose the loser bracket final. Well, you still walk home with a decent amount of money.
A decent amount of money.
So these two teams know the importance of a match here, and that's where MitH.Trust go with a lineup, go with heroes that they're most comfortable with. They pull out the Morphling for the Kells, they get the Clockwork, the Kunkka, these kind of team fight controllers, which they like to give Arbor, that they like to put into the mid lane as well, and it's worked out well for them so far.
I'm still waiting on for Kunkka to actually come up with some really cool items. He got himself with the Shadow Blade. He might be going off for other cool items. He got himself with the Ogre Axe as well. So he might want to sustain inside the match as well, trying to deal off all the Zed from Tidebringer. There's a cooldown is actually real quick as the moment that, get high levels on it.
Well, let's see what Anti-Mage goes for next as well. I mean, your standard Anti-Mage next item will be your Manta style, but like you said earlier, the BKB is going to be crucial at some point. He needs it.
At some point again.
I don't think you go BKB now, because Battle Furious plus BKB, you're not really attacking fast enough or doing enough damage anyways, so
the idea is if you do not take it, it's either you still need to accept, I'm going to get another item before I get the BKB itself.
Yeah.
Or it's either that or I can sustain all the damage if I got myself the Heart of Taras. It's like I can sustain the damage, but even if I did, I'm going to be locked down. I'm unable to go in for some attacks. That's going to be a problem itself. So we can't afford to actually just let the Anti-Mage actually be there, standing still and accept all the damage. We need him to actually go on for some right clicks, taking down heroes. That's what's important.
Alright, well, as things stand here, it is MitH.Trust poised to start pressuring this bottom lane. First departure, I guess the other question is for first departure, do they actually try and start defending these outer towers, or do they just try and sit back, spam it, and not actually commit to a fight? Like, do you feel like they can actually defend this tier 2 bottom tower?
The idea of spamming is fine, I guess, but I think the idea of spamming is, I think MitH.Trust is actually dealing more damage compared to team first departure. Unless they're relying on the stuns coming on from the Elder Titan, try to spam as much as they can. Maybe out of the blue moon, you might get yourself lucky enough to actually land off on a stun up to 4 to 5 heroes, 3 to 4 heroes, and actually go in for initiation. It'll be the good time. Make sure there's something to yourself.
Alright. Well, hopefully we get a reconnect soon coming out from our Visage. Kai is just waiting for him to come back here.
Wait, I just realized the only spamming thing they can actually do from first departure is only come from Elder Titan. You can't expect, the range of the DK spamming out Flame, Fire Breath, it's not that far to actually go in for some spams.
Yeah, the Rubik Fade Bolt's okay. I feel like they've got okay initiation. The problem is they're against the Kunkka. If Kunkka gets close enough to X anyone, the fight starts and MitH.Trust win the fight. Yeah, unless it's a Dragonite who can BKB out, but then you're using a BKB charge, which is not what you want to be doing, not something you want to be throwing away. Well, as it stands here, Elder Titan just looking to scout out as much as possible using that Astral Spirit, and MitH.Trust not fully committing to this bottom lane just yet. Morphling is there, he reveals his new item, the Ethereal Blade is up, and he's going to be looking to use that to pick off some of these heroes nice and fast, especially this very squishy Rubik. Only the 1 point in the null field. Actually, no, he's not. Oh, shotgun in. He adaptive strike the Rubik, I want to say. This Rubik stole that still. He's got all strength. He's actually not as squishy as I was expecting.
Oh, I thought...
He's got no armor though. This works both ways. Sure, you've got a lot of HP and you can survive the shotgun, but if you start getting right-clicked, you're going to go down pretty fast.
Yeah, you're going to go down pretty fast, yeah. Especially if it pumps up with this agility damage.
So, I mean, between Rubik having all this HP, Visage having the Gravekeeper's Cloak, is actually not that easy for Morphling to get shotgun kills. The Elder Titan's got mech, so he's probably the almost squishiest of these first departure heroes, but he's got a mech on top of himself. As far as squishy as far as going up against a shotgun. If you you can burn down that Gravekeeper's cloak charges, then Visage suddenly becomes a lot easier to kill, but when you've got full layers of that at level 4, that first shotgun does almost no damage at all.
Right, so his presence himself, he doesn't have to do anything. His presence himself, going off with the natural order itself, is good. It's going to be a nuisance. It's going to be, I mean, hopefully it'll be used as an advantage itself, lowering down all this base armor reduction as well as the base resist reduction. It's actually a lot. 100% base armor reduction is not a small thing.
Wait, what? The Gunky gets out of the Sentry Ward range.
Oh, hits
nice
off
split
on the DK.
Earth, catches up the Dragonite as well. He managed to just outrun this Sentry, and then the Dragonite was like, oh, can't find him, can't actually get the Dragon Tail off. They used a second one, but it was too late by then. Clockwork hookshot in there. MitH.Trust could get this one. Immediate force up out. His team were too far away. Now the Dragonite pops the BKB. He's trying to fight, but the Cogs at the backline zoning everyone out of this one. Mech gets popped now by First Departure. They gets a counter bow, stolen by the Rubik. It's not going to do enough damage here. It's the Morphling who gets a kill. He's at the backline, taking out the Elder Titan, looking for Lubby as well. He's got no armor at all. The Kells has to make his way out of there. One kill for nothing. Boats flying all over the place. Clockwork hooking in, and only one hero dies.
Would
you believe it?
And that's
actually
actually
okay
okay hits that from the outside.
I feel like that's okay for First Departure. Chibix gets the top tower. He's still farming away. He's going to go in.
Almost.
Ooh. Needed maybe one more right click before that Mana Void.
It's either that right click or it's a right click come from the Kunkka going off with the splash damage as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to be questionable as well.
I'm okay with that trade for First Departure. They lose just an Elder Titan, but they get a tier 1 tower, and Antimates gets a lot of farm. Meanwhile, Morphling, he was actually taking part in the fight, not farming away, so I think in general that's actually a pretty good trade, and now we look at another crucial item pickup coming the way of First Departure as well. And MitH.Trust still just trying to force down this bottom tier 2 tower. They have to be careful. Lakel gets his Lincoln's broken. Now it's stuck on the frozen there as well. The chain stun gets interrupted by Disruption, and Morphling waves out. Nicely played by the Shadow Demon.
Oh, that was a nice save.
That Disruption. Yeah, that saves his life. The Telekinesis, they had 2 Familiars to stun him off as well, and that chain stun gets prevented by the Shadow Demon. Now Lakel's has to go home and heal. That's, well, we have Lakel's going home to heal, Kunkka at the top lane, and MitH.Trust, they're forced to back off, and that's not something they really want to be doing right now. Ava, near the bottom river, there we go. Rocket player into the Roshan pit, but it's too late.
It's too late.
The Morphling, he replicates in, but nope, not going to go for the Aegis still. Aegis get
speed.
picked up by the Anti-Mage, and Kunkka, he was at top lane, he couldn't make his way down there. There wasn't actually any towers to really TP to. The mid tier 1's gone, the bottom tier 1's too far away. Now the Disruption avoids the boat here. ST's still alive, Chibix gets purged up. He's got the Aegis, so he's not worried about dying, but he can't actually find anyone to go and finds the Kells on the high ground looking for him, but the Kells has already brought down the Rubik. Now Kunkka on the run, he's got the BKB up, and Clockwork. Zoning everyone out with the Cogs here. Way back down to the low ground here as Lakel just wants to get his way out of there, it looks like.
Chibix gave it a better result.
Chibix can go back in with this Aegis, but I don't know if he really wants to. He may just want to save it. He's going to blink over to the high ground and Torrent actually going to hit on Kai here. They're going to chase down SD. The Ethereal Blade coming out on the Dragonite doing a bit of damage here, and Lakel needs to be careful. He's got a TP, he's got no waveform, he's got no mana. He could actually go down here. Lakel's is in trouble. Mana Void. Oh, the Torrent going to keep Lakel's alive. Is there a blink to the high ground? Chibix doesn't want to go for it. Instead, he gets the Shadow Demon.
A double kill.
Oh, I thought he was going to go for the Morphling there.
Egg is still alive.
The Kells was no mana there. It could have almost got the kill there with a Mana Void, but I think the Torrent prevented the further chase.
It would have been sweet if he got himself with the field going off with the Morphling. He got himself with no mana. All this mana base coming in. He can't palm up any more SCRs going on, but it's...
Well, that's Chibix with a Manta Style now. His farm is just getting
it's going to be
completely accelerated. Gets another tower for himself, and you mentioned how important something like a BKB is. Well, he can get that BKB in no time at all. Just a couple thousand gold away from it, and First Departure, they've got Shadow Blade on the Dragonite suddenly, they've got a BKB, or maybe something like a Butterfly or a Heart coming for your Anti-Mage, and this game is taking a big, big dip on the gold graph, going a lot more towards the First Departure favor all of a sudden.
It's fluctuating a bit, I would say, but I think it's still sliding up. I think would you consider this as a game change? The moment Anti-Mage got himself with the Battle Free, he got some decent forms, he's actually trying to change the game a bit.
The Battle Fury is always where, like, as an Anti-Mage, you look at your, like, if you look at your GPM during the stage, you don't have a Battle Fury compared to when you have it. It's just, you probably get like 2 to 3 times more GPM with a Battle Fury.
It's worth it.
You cannot farm without this item. You can't neutral, you can't push out lanes fast, you need this Battle Fury.
I mean, it's not rather of an option whether you need to get a Battle Fury or not. But unless if you don't want to get a battlefield, you went on with the Yasha, you went on Vladimir with any of those items, you need to commit, you need to ensure that you are able to actually join in with the war, actually come on top and get money from it. So it actually reacts as getting money at the same time, but through kills, but not through farmings as well.
The shotgun just being sort of just used arbitrarily there on the Dragonite. Not really expecting a kill, maybe just trying to bait out a BKB, but Dragonite doesn't take the bait, and Chibix is still pushing out these lanes. Forces Morphling back. Question is there a replicate anywhere? If he has got a replicate up, he can always come back to these fights at a moment's notice. So Morphling actually a good hero to have against this anti-mage split push. You can defend,
Seriously?
have a replicate, and then come to the fight should one break out.
But seriously, replicating a Kunkka with all the splash damage?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got ahead, to be honest in that one. DK still farming out, we're still not sure with any 4 items come from DK. Might be going for the Elsa Curse. Anti-mage, I mean for now, I would say anti-mage, he might be going off for the hardest harass, probably.
I was about to say, I don't think you actually have to go the BKB. Like, the way this game's been played out, BKB hasn't proven to be all that essential for the anti-mage. It's the other heroes who are in the front lines helping tank for him.
Yeah,
even a Butterfly maybe, because Butterfly gives you more damage output for this split pushing, so I think a Butterfly wouldn't be a bad pickup as well here, depending on how he wants to keep playing this.
So the idea is going off for the offensive build rather than going off for the defensive build, going on winning off the matches.
I mean, Butterfly does give you some nice evasion as well against
yeah.
the Morphling right click, and Morphling has to transition into that right click late game damage. He's got the Ethereal Blade. This item has not paid off for him though. He's gotten maybe 2 kills with it in these team fights, like the big fight at the bottom tier 2 tower, the fight later on near the Roshan pit as well. I think he's only had 2 kills with his shotgun in the last like 10-15 minutes.
Alright, but so far the shotguns didn't work out that well. We haven't seen any shotguns takedowns. So far, Morphling's going directly for the Eye of Skadi. I think so he should be. Got himself with the ultimate orb, or maybe he's going over the Mana style.
Could be a Manta's always nice just because you use the shotgun and you want to get rid of that ethereal form. You pop the Manta and then suddenly you can right click again. But he still is pushing out this top lane. Anti-Mage, whenever the Morphling's not there, is pressuring it. Replicate's still just waiting around at this bottom lane, so Morphling, now that he's done pushing this lane out, could replicate himself back towards the rest of his team, but... Chibix.
Juking.
I'm not sure. Okay, has gone for the safe option. He went for the safe BKB. This means he can team fight better. It also means he's, at this point, unkillable. With BKB, Aegis, and Manta style, 3 just very good defensive items. It's unlikely to see him go down. Oh, Lakel's. He replicated into a lot of heroes there, waves himself out. Gets slept up here by the Elder Titan Stomp.
Yeah.
No commitment.
No commitment, I don't think so.
And he may just be TPing back top again soon. He'll pop a replicate and maybe have to TP top because Anti-Mage, he's once again on this tier 2 tower.
Right, so Anti-Mage already pushed quite far. He's already down there ready, waiting for the next wave of creeps to actually come in. So he can actually go in for some push, taking down the tier 2 tower, going up at the top lane. Yeah. But I think Hero's going up at the top lane this time. Kunkka got himself with an X, no?
Okay.
Nope.
Not good.
Almost.
He wasn't going to be able to get a kill there regardless. But at this point, for MitH.Trust, you've got to be saying, okay, we need our Morphling to transition to late game. He needs to start getting big carry-outs up. And we need our Kunkka to start thinking about getting a Daedalus. Until that Kunkka's got some big right-click damage as well, first departure, this Anti-Mage is really, really scary.
I mean, I think he's trying to survive, and I think he's going to farm even more. Knowing that his speed of farming right now is actually increasing, he's actually beaten out on the Morphling in terms of net worth right now.
Yeah, and it's not just the Anti-Mage. When you talked about the Dragonite, he's not really as good as a Kunkka in that second position carry role, but he's going to provide the initiation. The Shadow Blade gives you that great initiation, and it looks like he's working on an Assault Cuirass. That'll give you this really scary teamfight aura as well, which just makes you so much better against whatever MitH.Trust can throw. And heroes like Shadow Demon, Leshrac, they do not exactly scale that well into the late game. Shadow Demon Destruction, always a fantastic spell, but the rest of his spells, the magic damage, doesn't really do much against first departure later on.
It's not going to work out much if we proceed further into the game at one point.
Compared to a Rubik. Like Rubik, you've got spell steal. You can take some of these big crucial spells, steal the boat, steal stuff like the Hawk Shot. You can take the Morphling, the Waveform to give you another initiation, or the stat steal to make yourself tankier. And then, like, you've got Visage, Familiars give you great just AoE stuns as well in teamfight. So I feel like first departure, their support's much better in the late game stage, even if they weren't the better gankers.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Anti-Mage going up for the solo push, going up the mid lane. At mid lane, going up for initiation right here, hits off the torrent. There we go.
Down. They use everything for it. The shotgun as well. First departure can look to fight this with all these spells on cooldown. They should be able to look to pick off someone else, but all stuff out. And
BKB by DK, he's not spending it on anything. It's kind of like more or less like a waste. He was expecting the engagement to actually happen.
Another X. Not going to get the torrent as the telekinesis was there. Now the Anti-Mage is going to drop. He's going to look to fight Clockwork. His force up is on cooldown. I don't think he's getting out of this one. Arbor He may just go down to
BKB,
one,
but
Chimix
Chimix
gets purged up, and then with the BKB being used, this is going to slow him right down here. Defensive disruption. Kunka, no way out.
He can't
finished
survive
off.
it. He doesn't have any motivation for that one.
Well, MitH.Trust is going to say, hey, we're happy with the Elder Titan pickoff, but they lost the Kunka for that, and at this point, Kunka is much more important than this Elder Titan, so they force out a DK BKB as well as an Anti-Mage BKB. Oh, Morphling. That's what I'm used to seeing Morphlings do. That's what we haven't seen this game.
Alright, I think he's keeping up with the game.
These
right?
solo pickoffs, like we get it, we had the pickoff there at the mid lane of the Elder Titan, but that was like a 4 or 5 man effort. You used everything to get that kill. You go in with an X-Torrent, a Cleave, as well as a shotgun to get that kill. But that kill there, the solo kills on supports, that's what you expect to see a lot of coming out from a Morphling.
Like, you know you can't do a direct takedown on the carries, knowing that they have high durability. They're quite tanky, I would say. So taking into supports, actually, those are the kind of heroes which actually contributes to the gameplays.
Well, Chimix still farming away. Look at his money right now. He has overtaken the Morphling on hero level, as well as farm, as well as net worth. He is just, considering how far behind he was at one point. At one point, the Morphling had, I think, 12,000 plus net worth, and he was below 8,000. All of a sudden, Chimix is the one who's ahead.
I mean, it's no surprise, I would say, considering he got himself battle free. The thing about Morphling, he's more to a single unit attacks. He doesn't have any of those cleaves and everything. Yeah. He can't rely on those waveforms to actually take down all those creeps at the same time. So you can't compensate for the idea that Anti-Mage has the blink, so he can actually blink out here and there to actually make escape, go into the next creep camp to actually form off even faster. So in terms of mobility as well as into farming speed, Anti-Mage got it better. I think the idea of it's good enough that Morphling managed to get on top at the early stage. If he did bad than Anti-Mage, that would have been a problem.
Speaking of Morphling, he's got his Ice Scuddy now.
Yeah, he's going for Ice Scuddy. I don't think he's going for Mana
He's on pure agility. He's sitting on 1 base strength. The sad thing is, all this agility gives him 31 armor. With Elder Titan aura on him, he has 0 armor.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like.
What's this armor do for you? Like this is.
I don't think he's going off for the armor. He knows he's gonna get knocked up by the.
He wants the agility for the shotgun, but
basically that's
after you use the shotgun, all you've got left is your right click. You can start like man fighting the Anti-Mage, but Anti-Mage in a right click war, if there's an Astral Spirit on you or the Elder Titan's nearby, then Anti-Mage is going to win that fight. That's where the Elder Titan really needs a BKB, because he's got to stay alive in these fights. Elder Titan, to me, is going to be the key hero for first departure in the late game.
All he needs to do is to be present, and that's it. It's like, you don't have to do
Don't even have to cast a spell. He doesn't have to cast a Stomp. He doesn't even have to cast his ultimate.
I mean the spells are like the plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his presence itself is actually important in itself. It's like an aura.
The aura is what's going to make or break this game, and he's going to be the hero which I feel MitH.Trust want to initiate on. Sure, Rubik can maybe steal a boat, but I think they'd rather let Rubik steal a boat than let Elder Titan stay alive.
Can't afford. The thing about Morphling is like he's trying to make himself with some stat-based items right here to ensure survive higher stats. There we go, Lincoln Speed.
There's a Dragon Tail on cooldown now, so that Lincoln Sphere going to block it. Anti-Mage is going to look to trade tier 2 for tier 2. The chase is now on. Morphling wants to TP out. The Stomp is not going to come in time. Force up to the side here. Double stab. He's still in trouble. He's got a waveform here. He's also moved to strength here. First departure. Need to be careful not to overextend. The boat's not going to land. He's still healing himself back up. Clockwork in with a hook shot. Catches out the Rubik, but Lubby going to lift him out. Defensive disruption gets used. Only the Visage taking the fall. They're slow from the Frost Dragon, and it's Arbor with no force up for the time being. Anti-Mage is going for the tier 3s. He's going for the Raxes. First departure.
Anti-Mage
snuck one by. The Morphling TP is on cooldown. He used his TP, it got cancelled, and Anti-Mage makes get Raxes. TP back from the Clockwork, but it's too late. Raxes go down, and first departure are the ones who take them. What just happened?
Oh, there we go with a hook shot. Hits off.
Where's the damage? You're not killing this Anti-Mage.
He's going to wait up for the
He's going to win this 1v3. You need Morphling to deal with him.
Even Kunka doesn't have any mana right here.
He can just go back in. He blinks forward. He's got a Mana Void. He can actually kill off TNT here. Mana Void gets the kill. Chimix goes for the range Rex now, maybe.
Going off for the solo Rex in the top lane. That
TP cancel on the Morphling just got first departure Raxes. They've turned this game around suddenly.
That was a mistake.
Torrent, Chimix could be in trouble. He's got no BKB. Mana just for one
Chimix make an escape. He got himself harder to trust. He has high durability, high regeneration. He can actually make an escape right here. Despite all this damage coming on from Morphling, despite from Clockwork as well, he can actually still survive and manage to go in for some Rax. So Rax secured, going off in the top lane.
And he gets out of there. So they don't pick him off, and this is just suddenly MitH.Trust have lost complete control of this game. They lose their Raxes, they get forced back. Morphling just isn't being able to do the damage he wants to, and Roshan gets taken by first departure. Ages for your Dragonite. He's finished off on Assault Crest. Chibix is going to probably just heal himself up and pick up his next item. He's got the heart. He's almost got like a butterfly or something as well if he wants to. Well, I worry for MitH.Trust.
Yeah.
And I imagine this is going to be a big roller coaster. It went up and it went right back down.
Look at that graph.
5,000 gold in First Departure's favor right now.
I mean, when we say 5,000, it doesn't sound a lot, but considering the change from having a 7.5k in terms of the Radiant side and moving to the other side, it's actually a fluctuation in terms of 12,500 gold difference change. That's actually a lot.
If fights like this is where I feel MitH.Trust, like this Morphling just isn't really doing enough in these fights. Maybe he kills off one, maybe he gets one hero with a shotgun, but the other 3 or 4 heroes who are still alive are just wreaking so much havoc over MitH.Trust. And you're only ever killing like maybe a Rubik, maybe a Visage, but even these heroes, they were using X-Torrent Boat as well as the shotgun to get the kills. They're not just using a shotgun to kill the supports, they're using all these big ultimates to get one kill, and then they never get more than that.
I mean, same for whatever happened going off in the top ranks previously by Anti-Mage, what we can see is that without the presence of Morphling, even with a Shadow Demon, with Kirker and Clockwork as well, it was not sufficient enough to actually take down an Anti-Mage. So it was actually a really good thing that they managed to stop Morphling to actually go in for the TP, managed to go in for the takedown, and these guys know the Anti-Mage, he doesn't have to worry about anything. He can actually go in for the Rex, there's no problem without it.
He took them 1v3 without BKB up. That was impressive.
He BKB before the Telate came in. By the time BKB is already out, he has no problem hitting off with the Rex and managed to escape and come back in, go in for the kill again, and then goes out once again. He's like toying with the other team as well.
Well, I mentioned that Elder Titan would probably be the key here in these fights, but that was not the key factor there. Elder Titan did not really come into play there. That was purely the Morphling trying to TP back to defend and getting it cancelled.
I think
that was just like a strategic win for First Departure. They didn't even have to win a team fight. They just said, hey, cancel Morphling TP, Anti-Mage, he can't be stopped. They bring back 3 heroes. They can't stop the Anti-Mage.
But they never expected that Morphling was going to TP in front of them like 100 meters away, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Morphling's going to TP. We're going to force ourselves, go in front, going on for some double disables. Lincoln's Fee is going down, going for the takedown, and that's it. He can't tele back.
It was one of those things where like we saw the first Shadow Blade in from the Dragon Knight when he went in and just like casually used the Dragon Tail and then ran back, and I was like, what's he doing? Like that was just. Sure, he's breaking the Lincoln sleeve, but you don't normally want to use a spell like Dragon Tail to break Lincolns. Dragon Tail is so crucial in the fight. But he's like, well, it's worth it. And it paid off later on when they got the TP cancel.
So first
Speaking of Dragon Tail, only level 1.
Wow.
That's unusual.
I mean, he's going for stat base as well.
The stats are nice, but like, sure, it only goes up 0.25 seconds, but comparing level 1 stun to level 4, it's an extra like 3/4 of a second, which on a hero like Morphling or Kunkka could make a difference.
It's either that or it's just for the sake of actually trying to tap on the Lincoln Sphere. He knows that he's not going to go in for any durations, so tap in so another hero can actually go in for another stun yet with the follow-up, and that's it, just for the sake of it. And he can actually increase out with his attributes at the same time.
Well,
so that was actually a big mistake for having that Morphling being taken down right there. So the idea for Spartan to die that, you know what, we're not going to win out through wars, we're just going to buy time while they're having a big war going off in the bottom lane, in the tier 2 tower nearby the first Spartan's base. They went out. I was surprised seeing that Anti-Mage was already right there, going off some Reckless. It took him some time, but he managed to go in with a full Rex.
He had to deal with the tier 2 tower first. I remember looking back and I said, okay, MitH.Trust are pushing bottom, Anti-Mage is killing the tier 2 tower. It looked like they're going to maybe trade tier 2 for tier 2, but then suddenly Anti-Mage gets the tier 2, and he's pushing the high ground, and Morphling is having his TP cancelled. But we'll get ourselves back into this game. It looks like we're not going to see anything unfold immediately. First Departure need to heal up. Anti-Mage actually doing okay for mana, but it's the Dragon Knight back to base, healing himself back up, and First Departure will just look to get more control once again, once their heroes are ready to go. They've got the Aegis on their side.
Oh yeah, the Aegis is still with them.
Yep,
I think it was DK, right?
They can just like go straight down mid lane almost. Like they're a lot stronger in a team fight scenario. This is, we mentioned it earlier, Shadow Demon Leshrac. All this Shadow Demon really offers is maybe a defensive disruption to help out the team, or a purge to go through the BKB of the Anti-Mage or the Dragon Knight. Like it's a slow that goes through BKB, but slows that go through BKB are only so useful. Like you're not going to actually keep it in place. They can still cast spells, they can still attack. So sure, you slow the Dragon Knight, but he can still be attacking you.
I mean, considering that he can't fret about it, I mean, like, you can't expect Emily Purge to actually change out into being a stun with a BKB status. I mean, it's already good enough for him to actually go in for the stun, I guess. So rather than not having anything, rather than stopping the guy, I think a slow is actually good enough.
Well, We'll see what First Departure look to do next. Anti-Mage has got a completed basher on himself, so another actual like sort of decent team fight item. And the Kells, well, he's had these 3 items for some time. It feels like 20 minutes ago in this game, we were talking about MitH.Trust trying to breach this tier 2 tower. 15, 20 minutes later, they still haven't been able to take it. And First Departure, they found the opening to get racks at the top.
Now everything's shifted. Everything's like, now we're seeing that all the tier 2 towers have already gone, coming on from the rain side. Oh, sorry about that. We're still missing on one in the middle lane. And yeah, we're still... So Team Departure having the upper hand right now himself.
Morphling once again has morph stats. He's confident in the fact that he's not getting right click. He's like, I'll just go full strength. I don't need any agility. I don't need the armor. When he's not by the Assault Crest Aura, he's on 0 armor.
So that's
they got detection for this. Force stuff away, he's going to dodge the Stompy, but Antimix looks to go in on the left track. Now going to switch targets onto the Clockwork. Disruption used on Antimix. This is going to be annoying because he will have illusions of himself. Pops a BKB, goes in, will catch out Arbor. Clockwork goes down, and First Departure.
5 kills in a row, but
they've still got Aegis on the Dragon Knight as well. They'll pop the mech, they'll go for the tier 2 tower, and I think they'll just keep on pushing. Look to go high ground. Clockwork's got no buyback right now. With the more Aghanim Scepter, he's in trouble. Replicate onto the Antimage, but they'll make... Oh, they're not going to bring it down.
Yeah, they got some tier 2 tower. They might be going off a mid. They still have 38 seconds before Clockwork actually comes out. So it's a 5v4 going off in the mid lane. Going off on the racks right here. They need to defend only 4 heroes right now.
Off the Lincolns. Dragon Knight could be ready to go here. The Torrent's going to catch out too. They need the boat to ball. Disruption gets used on the Antimate. He hasn't got a BKB up. DK, he's got Aegis, he's going to go down, but that's what First Departure kind of wanted. He will be back up and running, ready to go in a second. The Stomp going to buy him some space. First Departure may just back off and play this safe. Nope, Dragon Knight says I'm back in. 10 seconds on the clock, and with him dead.
Oh, Morphling.
Antimage, what's he doing bottom? He gets a tier 3 at bottom. He wants to fight Lakells. Blink out, another BKB. Chibix needs to be careful. That's, Purge is there as well. Another blink out in a second. The wave for.
He's right to blink.
Oh, Chibix in trouble. He gets the blink out just in time. 70 HP. Still alive. Meanwhile, mid lane, Clockwork's actually come back. He's going to bring down the Vision. The Rax is still standing. Dragon Knight, he's used the Aegis, pops a BKB, wants to just make a run for this, but with the Skadi slow, he's not running anywhere. He's going to run back into the base, try and create some space here. Force-up hookshot, not going to land. Can MitH.Trust pick off anyone else? They're looking for it, and we're just once again going for the Rax in. Chibix, BKB, melee Rax, he wants it, he's not going to get it! MitH.Trust kill him! Triple kill! 45 HP. Familiar. They've got to kill this immediately.
I mean, he was almost there, taking down on the melee barracks. Going up on the bottom lane.
MitH.Trust is still alive, Flavor.
Yes, he's still alive.
They lose a tier 3
That was close, I would say. He was determined. He was like, I don't care. I know I'm going to die, but yeah, he decides to just hit on with the tower.
Well, the thing that matters, buybacks. Where do they stand? You guys can see here.
Yeah,
the 2 heroes you need are the Antimate and the Dragon Knight.
Get buyback, dude.
Clockwork actually caught out Lubby here.
Oh, they got themselves hits up. They picked up on Rubik. Shotgun
3 heroes dead. MitH.Trust will definitely be looking to push out these lanes. They want to try and go for a counter rack, or possibly even just force out these buybacks if they exist for First Departure.
First Departure down. They're down by 3 heroes right here.
Like pressuring the MitH.Trust T4 towers though. Tier 2 going to go down here. No buybacks coming out just yet. With that, MitH.Trust could be ready to look to go in. I think that was a casual hook shot onto the high ground. Not going to catch out anyone from Arbor. Some wishful thinking. And now they go for the tier 3s.
Oh, 2 heroes down. Inside may still not out.
DK's back alive.
Seconds.
They're trying to just wait this one out. They want to not have to use any sort of a buyback here. X is there, Torrent to follow.
Oh, it's on DK.
Delphine gets caught out by that when he takes a lot of damage to the shotgun. The Kells needs some physical damage to finish it off, but not going to get it. Delphine looking to go back in, gets the shadow block. The TNK goes down. Waveform through from the ball, but he wants the vision. He'll get the vision. DK could be next. He gets blown up. He hasn't got a buyback. He's not using it just yet.
BKB, but
Morphling gets another the Kells. He's turning this game around. Triple buyback from
Triple buyback going.
MitH.Trust say, let's get out of here, guys.
Let's get out of here.
Run. Defend the base.
Not again.
Home in trouble.
Oh, no.
Any TP cancels?
Oh, no. I think it's fine. It's fine. Nope. We're not going to have any TP cancels again.
Out safely for now. And First Departure say we used our buybacks. Antimage actually didn't buy back there. He came back to life. He buys an Abyssal Blade as well, and he's ready to fight again.
Wow. He was that rich that up to point he can buy back as well as go in for buy the Abyssal Blade.
The First Departure commit to this. If they try and go in and lose this fight, they could just straight up lose. They've got no buyback.
Yeah, they got no buyback. Triple buyback.
I think this is
from core heroes.
It's risky, but it could pay off, whereas just backing off, waiting for the next Roshan, waiting for your buybacks is the much safer way to play this game, man.
It's a question, should they wait or should they risk it? I don't think it's a good idea to
when
risk
there's
it.
so much on the line here, this is, winner of this match gets into the top 3, guaranteed prize money. There's a lot on the line. You take the safer option, which is back off, wait for your buybacks to come up. Even with Antimage with a buyback, your Dragon Knight doesn't. I think your Elder Titan used one as well last game, yeah. Dragon Knight, Elder Titan, as well as Visage, all use buybacks in that fight. Not to mention, they maybe want Roshan to come back up.
I mean, they're definitely not going to go commit going off right now. They're going to wait for the cooldown for the buyback to actually come out. They're waiting for the Roshan as well.
And what MitH.Trust can't really take
the
fights in this time.
They still got a buyback, so...
MitH.Trust is they have to... for them, it's let's wait it out. Maybe they try and contest Roshan, but I don't think they now too easily. They've just got to keep on stopping Anti-Mage with his split push. Well,
they're trying to push as much as they can. They're trying to ensure those creep waves do not exceed as far as the middle part of the map itself. It doesn't go as far as further than the tier 2 tower. If it were to exist, still exists, even despite it not being there, but yeah.
Morphling did complete a Manta style, so he's got his next item up. Getting close to that 6 slots. He just needs to replace the TP scroll, get the boots of travel up. So just one item away.
What would be the last item itself? What would it be?
For Morphling?
Right now, you can solve the
I mean,
ice sky.
Satanic is always nice. He hits pretty hard, so having the life steal can help you out a lot. Or you go for something like the Butterfly. I mean, I think late game you want to sell the Ethereal Blade and get Satanic plus Butterfly. Like that's kind of like your ideal items as a Morphling. Unless you want something like a Daedalus for the crit in there, but I have to see what Lakel's wants to do. He's still a long way away. I mean, we're talking about 2 sort of tier 4 items here, when right now he's just picked up the Manta style. He's still got a bit of a way to go before he even picks up any sort of an item on top of this.
Everybody's still waiting out for the Roshan to actually come out.
And at this point, Anti-Mage is pretty much maxed out. He can rebuy a BKB, get a full 10-second one, but
right, he got
apart from that, there's not much more coming his way. Rocket flares continually being sent out to scout out Roshan.
Just in case they know if the Roshan's already out, yeah, they can actually be there. Will they make it on time since they're being on the defensive mode right now? They actually could survive the base.
It just gives them a good idea of what First Departure are doing as well. They see that they're not at Roshan, they're like, okay, they could be smoking and ganking us. They could be looking to take a fight. They could be doing something unexpected, which is where they play a bit safer. If they see him at Roshan, they can say, hey, let's go and contest this. Or, okay, we know they're at Roshan, let's just push out our lanes and get some creep equilibrium back in our favor. Every rocket flare for the next 2 minutes is pretty much going to be used on this Roshan pit until they see it respawns. Yet, Arbor has no interest on using rocket flare anywhere else in the map.
He's going to be focus firing all the rocket flares every second.
Every 15 seconds.
Every 15 seconds.
Rocket flare is going to this Rosh pit.
I mean, it'll be unlucky enough if Roshan came out the moment he spammed over the rocket flare, it was already out.
Even then, it's like another one's coming 10 seconds later.
But I think this 15-second duration, I mean, the idea of receiving the message 10 seconds after and moving is actually,
well, you get the vision for 10 seconds, and then you shoot, I mean, rocket flare cooldown.
Oh! Not waiting for Roshan, they're trying to engage.
They're looking to go in on this one. Can they actually get the initiative to follow up on this one? The disruption's there. Chibi takes loose all his mind on the boat, gonna follow things up. Morphling gets a kill on the Elder Titan. Meanwhile, he's actually gone in on the back line. Oh, Lakelzi gets lifted up in the air. Can they actually bring him down here? He's got to buy back if he needs it. He gets bashed up here. Chibix is now just going to bring him down here. No, the disruption keeps him alive. The First Departure, they lost Antimates, they lost 4, they're actually going to get destroyed in this team fight. First Departure forced to back off. Morphling going to find the DK here. Lakel, he got kept alive. Team what for First Departure?
Oh, I think people are actually looking at this. Can you just step down to this one?
Wow.
Oh, this is bad news. Bad news.
Antimage immediately bought back.
They could have waited for the Roshan and actually go in and take for it.
That was an absolute disaster for First Departure. MitH.Trust, the Hex pick up by the Leshrac, they've got all these just extra luxury items on their heroes, and they're just going to look to barrel straight down this mid lane.
Yeah, they're still waiting for 10 seconds before Rubik actually comes out, which is not going to be a big matter itself. DK is going to have about 6 more seconds.
This is an interesting pickup for Morphling.
Ah, that was unexpected. So,
you know,
I mean,
they're going for one thing right now, and that one thing is this right here.
Yeah,
they are saying this warrior is dead.
They got the eyes on the prize right now.
Who actually has buybacks right now? It's
buyback status right now. You can see, like from this side, this new
First Departure. Are they going to be able to hold this? This is do or die for them. Tournament life not on the line here. There is a double elimination. There is a loser bracket that they would drop down to, but it only gets tougher if you go down to that loser bracket. And right now,
considering how fast they can actually take down. They don't have any more TNT tower in the mid lane. They only got themselves with the barracks, and considering they got heroes like Kunker with all those damage and Morphling those attack speed as well as damage. And actually they can take down these towers real quick. In 12 seconds, Rubik's going to come out. In 25 more seconds, Eldritine. I don't think those two heroes is going to do much. They need to wait out until D can actually come out, and they need to rely on damage to actually hold up as much as they can right now.
How long will it actually... But this MitH.Trust lineup, they can... I don't know if 25
Wait,
seconds is
do they have 5
enough.
men in the mid lane?
25 seconds is a long time against this damage output.
Wait, they still have the fortification going up. Yep, they still have it with the glyph.
That'll buy you some time.
Wait, how?
But you've got Diabolic Edict. You've got
they've got
the
everything.
damage output of this Kunker and the Morphling now. And this is where this Morphling item pickup is absolutely genius. You would never see this as an item pickup for Morphling in like any other game really, but
I mean, the idea of him picking up this one is because he got his eyes set on the prize for this time.
Yeah.
And he's going in for the win. But it's always an option right here. He's either going for the win.
The great thing, it doesn't even stack. It's just purely MitH.Trust saying, let's end this game. Let's see if First Departure can actually defend their base. And they're going straight down the mid lane.
Anti-mage position right way at the bottom right here.
Yeah. We'll have to see if the buybacks come out, if First Departure have what it takes to defend. We'll find out when the Visage reconnects here, but...
It can actually work two ways. The thing about anti-mage right here is that he's actually positioned in bottom lane. It's either he's got to put his trust on the fortification to actually last long enough for them to actually return back.
Yeah.
He goes in for the racks in the bottom lane. He goes in for the mid lane as well because TNG Tower is already down for both sides. And then it's a mega creep. But it's too much of a risk considering that these guys might go in directly for the win, going off on the mid lane.
He doesn't have to push out this creep wave. He's just going to ignore this creep wave at bottom, I imagine, because the creeps at top are pushing in. So the backdoor protection will be gone in a second. That's the good news. He says, okay, I don't have to waste time attacking this creep wave. But I guess the question is, as Antimates, do you defend or do you...
Defend? Or this is like big time risk going on.
They've got the glyph, so he can maybe go for one set of Raxes before TPing back. That's the one thing you do. The other thing is to MitH.Trust. MitH.Trust have two options. Go for Raxes, go for the throne.
But the thing is, I don't think it's...
Or even a third option, defend against the anti-mage, I guess. But...
I mean, right now, it's going to be hard, considering that both sides do have their glyphs. Alright, for the Radiant and Riot Light, say if both of them on at the same time, these guys can't take down the barracks here. Anti-mage can't take down the barracks here. So basically, if they were to be released of glyph, the Radiant side is going to have the advantage for this one. Obviously, because I have a lot of heroes going off in the mid lane take down, despite no matter how strong anti-mage is.
Well,
they're not going to make it in time.
There's so much I'd love to theory crap. I don't want to say too much. Not with the teams in earshot. But
they're having a headache right here. It's like they're using this time to actually think. What should we do?
They're probably overthinking this one so much. They're thinking every possibility, everything that could happen. Like, because right now MitH.Trust, they see an anti-mage here. They assume it's real. It could be an illusion, of course. He has got Manta style, but they see this anti-mage here by their creep wave. They're thinking, okay, we want to go down mid lane, but anti-mage is coming to backdoor us. Like, do they defend? Do they just go all in for the push? And First Departure are thinking, hey, do we need to TP back this anti-mage, or can he actually get Raxes? Can we look to base trade? Who's going to get thrones faster? And well, when it's 1 heroes against 5, generally it's the 5 heroes who are a lot faster.
Okay. Let's say if anti-mage were to return going off on the defense right here, he still needs to wait for a few seconds for, let's say the only first reinforcement he'll actually arrive is only Rubik. Will he be able to sustain with all this damage coming out from 3 to 4 heroes going off in the mid lane right here? He's going to be facing off against...
He'll struggle a lot.
He's going to struggle a lot. Or he's just going to blink in.
Especially with his BKB is getting very short. His BKB down to 5 seconds.
Ooh, 5 seconds BKB. That's
if he had like a fresh 10-second BKB, I think you could get back and fight a lot better.
He might be able to actually sustain all the damage himself. He present himself actually being disabled and actually try to fend it off as well.
This glyph for First Departure is going to be something which could keep them alive just that little bit longer. Buy them time to get the Rubik back alive. 25 seconds on Elder Titan, 30 on your Visage.
What would it be? This is going to be like one of the... Alright.
This pause is killing me.
This you never expected this pause to actually happen at this time. It's like a mind game. I'm giving you a question. Should you take option A, B, or C on this one?
I don't know, Flavor. This is too much for me.
It's a tough call. It's a tough call.
For those of you just tuning in, this is our winner bracket semi-final between MitH.Trust and First Departure at the ACG Dota 2 Championships. We're in Singapore. For those of you in Singapore, you want to come on down, check out the action.
Demarchy Hall.
Yeah, Demarchy Hall at Downtown East.
Downtown East.
A lot of fun here, a lot of gamers here. There's tons of computer setup, there's tons of interactive fun games you can be playing, as well as watch Dota 2. Come say hi to us. Come say hi to all the teams here, your favorite teams, favorite casters.
Say hi to Toby. I think he went out taking pictures with the cosplay people, but yeah.
Oh, he found the cosplay. He found the Lodia.
Ah, yeah, he got first blood this morning. Yeah. Scored himself a good one.
This is tense. This is a lot on the line, a lot of prize money. $30,000 for these Southeast Asian teams in total prize pool. That's as big as it gets for Southeast Asia. eClub hosting the biggest year-end tournament for the Southeast Asian region.
I think people coming here is not just for the money itself, considering that winning this will ensure that your country is actually the best in Southeast Asia. So placing yourself as a name, covering it. No matter where you're from, no matter what your previous records are, this is the stage itself.
Looking forward to next year with like TI4 and everything, and teams wanting to qualify for that, or at least get sort of an interest in doing something there. Then you've got to start. You've got to make your way up there, and this is one of those sort of entry tournaments which will get you on the radar and get ready for TI4.
Get ranked, get more net worth for your team as well, to actually be qualified for TI4.
Well, so far it's mostly been the favourite zone. Well, we've had First Departure MitH win their round 1 matches. We saw Mineski take out StarTel in a very close series.
But a very close series.
We have Titan, who I believe are probably playing one of their matches right now out in the gaming area.
Yeah, Titan's having one match right now.
Yep.
I think they're having a match between who is it?
They were facing the winner of the Indian team, Oblique, as well as Revival.
India.
So it was either Revival or Oblique.
Right, so we have a match between...
The winner of that goes up against Mineski. So assuming Mineski and Titan win, we get that Mineski-Titan showdown.
Alright, so who will it be? Will it be Oblique Gaming or Titan versus with AMD Mineski going off in the semifinals? It should be. They're reaching out to the semifinals.
That should be our other semifinal. But right now, First Departure and MitH, we've been in a bit of a stalemate here. You can see here on the main stage, a couple just connection issues maybe plaguing the teams here.
Yep.
Of all the time. This has got to mess with the teams. Like you're getting yourself in a groove, you've got some momentum going your way, and suddenly it's this pause. You lose that concentration, you lose that focus, and then on top of that, you overthink things because you're spending this entire time not really in the zone, like ready to play. You're spending it just purely strategizing, theory crafting about every possible outcome of the next 30 seconds. This next 30 seconds is what decides the game, and these two teams are going to be overthinking themselves, possibly just analyzing it too much. Like, to a certain point, if you think about it too much,
as time proceeds, as this DC is never going to connect back, they're having more stress with themselves. What should they do? It's going to be questionable. The moment they got themselves with a definite answer, we should do this. But as time goes on, it's like, you know what? I think we should do something else. Get it? This is going to be tough. It's either they can actually reconnect back into the game, but they purposely didn't want to connect just to think about it real again. This is a crucial pause.
Yeah, I got to give it to the teams. They've really shown up to play here in Singapore. Like I was expecting some very competitive Dota, but the teams have just risen to the occasion and played fantastic. From the 2 matches we've seen so far, as well as some of the other matches not on the main stage, these teams have shown up. They all seem pretty well prepared. First Departure mentioned in their sort of pre-tournament interview, hey, we didn't have much time to train, but they're playing some fantastic Dota right now.
Yeah, fantastic. I think, despite not having training itself, they believe, and despite not having training, maybe they could have done better. But I think you should know that they're professionals. They must have had their own personal training as well, rather than waiting off for the whole team to be there. They have their own training resumes as well. Still waiting in for Kai to actually join back inside the game right here. It's very crucial for 30 seconds for the Visage as they join in.
At the same time, Visage isn't necessarily like one of the key heroes to defend with. He hasn't? I don't think he's got any familiars up for the time being, but the familiar stuns could be a great way. If they're trying to go for a base race, familiar stuns a great way to slow down your opponents.
Just for a moment, like...
Well, if you have 3, he's got the Ag Scepter, so he's got 3 familiars.
Yeah, so 3 of them. So stuns goes on for...
Each one is like a good 1.5 or 2 second stun.
Yeah, so we'll get 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And considering how it's looking right now, 6 seconds is actually a long time.
Especially on the Morphling, who's doing the most damage. If Morphling decides, hey, let's go for the base race rather than defending the anti-mage push, you want to be stunning this guy and keeping him locked down as long as possible.
I've never had a base race pause like this.
No. I don't think so either. This is the crucial time.
It's a base race at the right time.
It's not a full-on base race. It's not like we've got both teams at full strength trading bases right now. It's First Departure with 1 hero, anti-mage, trying to be the Superman and keep them in this
Versus
game
the
versus
five.
the entire 5-man MitH.Trust army. I mean, it's definitely, we're talking about this being a close base race. It's definitely MitH.Trust who have the big edge here. They're the ones with their full strength here. They're the ones marching down the middle lane. The question is whether or not First Departure can actually deal with that, whether or not they've got the time to wait for these heroes to respawn.
Will they go on? It is a big gamble as well. Record action is aim. I'm so happy to see that. Ooh, what will it be?
Things are intensifying here in our final moments of our
Final
winner
moments.
bracket semi-final.
To be honest, I'm not sure how this is going to go down.
Well, looks like we are going to have a resume here coming from the two teams. Well,
All right, here we go. Oh, first staff forcing himself, going off to the front.
all right, we're back into things here, guys. Hopefully we can get ourselves showing the game screen in just a second here. It's a bit of a base race going on. Show the screen, guys. Show the screen. Morphling with a Desolator is just going for the tier 4 towers here. First Departure. They pop the cliff here. Antimage is not showing up just yet. He's looking to push down the bottom lane. The throne now is under siege. First Departure. They've got nothing.
They don't have
It's
this
all
point.
over. MitH.Trust. They're going to take it. The GG's being called, and MitH.Trust. It looks like they've done it. They take the game. They get the GG call.
Wow.
All right. That was stressful. That was a long pause for
That was a long pause for the short duration of match.
very
Okay.
long. That was. I think they could have maybe tried to bring the Antimates back to defend, but they decided, hey, look, we're going to go all in with Antimates, just going for the counter push. MitH.Trust didn't even try and defend. They TP'd the Morphling in with a new Desolator pickup, and there was just nothing to defend that damage. The
It's indeed.
Desolator pickup on Morphling was somewhat genius here, especially for those final moments.
All right, so rather than thinking about it, mainly considering these guys, did he manage to do a double 4 staff on the Morphling? Morphling went over with the A form and going directly hitting off on the tier 4 tower instead of going after a win.
Yep. Well, guys, that concludes everything. That's going to be MitH.Trust confirming their place in the top 3. They're guaranteed to walk away from Singapore, go home to Thailand with a top 3 finish with prize money at stake. Our next match of today, Titan versus Mineski. That's going to be on the main stage. Toby will be joining me for that, so big thanks, Flavor, for
All
joining
right,
me for
thank
this
you very
game.
much, God. That was spectacular.
We'll be
Casting
back
the
on later today. We've got, I think, 5 matches that we'll have on the
5
main
matches,
stage.
yeah.
So there'll be Titan
We'll
versus Mineski as well as 2 more. Guys, stay tuned. You're watching the ACG Dota 2 Championships. We'll be back with more Dota 2 action after a quick break.